game or watching Medi if he goes live and I can't see him yet?
Should be
Is he going to break
about.
your cameras?
Oh yes, sure. I'll leave. Bye.
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 I didn't mean for him to leave.
Well, he did say something along the lines of that he was going to watch and see what it's like to see whether he was interested on the first game. So I was expecting him to be here. I like all those symbols at the top of the character sheet.
Right, aren't they?
Yeah. See, that's a kind of alphabet I would like to use. I just like the shapes of them.
All right.
Be a pain in the ass, right? Like that there.
Can everybody under the journal stuff see something called general rules and character creation?
Yep.
Cool. Tell me when you're ready, Medi, because I'm just eating chocolate.
Oh, you guess.
Sorry, I was just getting the cameras sorted out.
No, fine.
I've just run out of chocolates.
Which is a very nice local bar of chocolate made in rye, but it's very nice, but it was also incredibly expensive.
I take it rye is a place rather than the
Rye
wheat
is a
type thing.
Yeah, it's a small village. Well, it's a village/town, atop an escarpment overlooking the Romney Marshes, technically on the way to somewhere like Hastings.
Right.
Down south, then.
Or Hastings, you would go from Hastings across country to Rye. Yeah, it's quite nice actually. But it's got quaint little like antique shops and galleries and a teddy bear shop and stuff like that. So
Sounds a bit like Shangokan.
yeah,
Only that's in a valley.
Yeah.
That's the opposite.
Okay, tell me when you're ready, Medi.
We are good.
Is Medi ready? Medi is ready. Medi. All right. So let's see if we can bastardize this rule system and make it work. Don't know, because you're streaming, Dart?
What's he doing?
What's he saying now?
Okay, so welcome everybody to our session 0/session 1 combined, depending on how this goes, of a version of Night's Black Agents, which is a sort of a vampire. Well, if you look at the screen here, it's a vampire spy thriller written by Kenneth Haidt of Pelgrane Press fame. Originally written for the Gumshoe system, which we had a play back at the sort of the middle of last year, our Trail of Cthulhu game, which unfortunately ended. But what I've decided to do this time round is to take the principles of Night's Black Agents and use the Mythras system to see if we can get a more interesting experience. So this session is going to start with character creation. Our regulars, Kath and Medi, will create characters. We'll run through that process. It's pretty much standard Mythras Imperative character creation, using some elements from after the Vampire Wars to create a more modern character. And then a couple of homebrew things in there which hopefully will work and not prove to be a bit too overpowered. Once we've done character creation, we will start the game, setting the scene, and going from there, and just seeing how this plays out. No guarantees this will run for as long as our D&D game or Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay game ran for, but hopefully we can get a fair chunk done, get a good feeling for this, and see whether it actually works or not. Okay, so both of you should have character sheets available. Yes?
Yeah.
Indeed, sir.
Yep.
All right, obviously the first thing to do is to name your character, which I noticed that Mehdi has already done.
There you go.
Hey, we've got Mark Silvers, played by Catherall. We put Gary in there. I'll change that to Catherall.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
That's my name.
I know it's your name, but you know, I think
Yeah.
anonymity is better, don't you think?
It keeps you safe on the internet.
Yeah. So, and then we've got Sam McRae, played by Medivac. We'll get you to kind of describe characters and things later. I think Homeland is somewhere on the British Isles. I prefer everybody starts as a I wouldn't say an Englishman, because I know Catherine would be offended at that, but a member of the United Kingdom and Ireland.
The British Empire.
No, it's not the British Empire. Unless you want to be an Indian or an, that's up to you.
The British anywhere more or less owned or controlled most places.
Or an Australian or a New Zealander. Well, I don't know if the British Isles.
No, I'm not a criminal.
Yeah, you're not a criminal. Okay, so Homeland typically would be, I would say, somewhere in the United Kingdom or Ireland. Before we do that, I mean, you can set that straight off. Obviously, set your gender, set your general stuff like your age, your height, your weight. However, don't do your age just yet. I want to talk a little bit about age and how we can use age to influence our character's experience in life. Handedness, obviously, frame, are you slender? Are you stocky? Are you 6 foot brick shithouse? That kind of thing. All of that you can fill out as we go along. But on the general rules and character creation stuff, I've tried to distill down character creation and some things that are relevant to character creation and beyond, based on the imperative system and how I want to use it in Night's Black Agents. We're gonna start with our standard stat rolls. So what you can do essentially, if you use the dice tray at the bottom, so for your strength, constitution, dex, power, and charisma, you're going to roll 4d6 and discard the lowest. You can make 4 rolls and then allocate them however you wish to those 4 attributes. If you use a dice tray at the bottom, so you can click on the D6 4 times, and then if you notice that there is a KH, if you click on KH, make sure, KH is going to do 2d6, keep highest, and then you click on the 6 again until you get 4d6, and then you can roll. So if I show you what this looks like.
Okay.
Oh, that didn't work. No, that didn't work.
I was going to say, that's a really bad roll.
Oh, man, how do I do this? Hang on, let me do this. There you go. So it's KH. So this is the roll that you need to make is it's slash roll 4d6 KH3. And effectively, look at that. So if you do that 4 times.
That's uncanny. Are we putting them on the character now or keeping them to the side?
Keep them to the side until you've got your 4 rolls done. It might be worth one person doing the 4 first, rather than bombarding with loads of
Yeah, go ahead, Manny.
dice rolls. So, Minnie, if you roll 3 more,
But it double ones.
okay. Fairly average spread of stats there, I think, Minnie.
Yep.
So you can allocate those to the 4. Oh no, you need to do one more, don't you? One more for.
Sorry.
Yeah, so it's 5 actually, and then. Oh, well, that's a bit naff. Okay, yeah. So if you want to do yours now, Kath, you need to roll 4 more. Be a lot of math in this tonight, I'm afraid.
Hi, Bella. Yep, doing good. Thanks yourself. Sorry.
Oh, nice roll, Kath.
I want your dice.
Okay, as long as I can have your dice on a Thursday.
Yeah, that is a beautiful set dice, although that is still 13. Oh my god. Okay. Mark Silvers is much harder than Sam McLeod.
Yeah, looks it.
All right, so those 5 rolls can be allocated however you see fit to your strength, constitution, dexterity, power, and charisma. If you look at your skills, you get an idea of what does, where things are used. So obviously, Mythras caters for magic. We don't have magic in this game as far as you are concerned. It is
Okay.
it's not
So
it's not an impossibility.
Yeah.
But
It's just the way that you worded it. We're going to get magic thrown at us, and we can't actually deal with it.
maybe we'll see.
Yeah.
But so in that sense, although there's things like magic points in here, and it'll calculate your magic points, they're not technically relevant for the start of the game. That's not to say, depending on how far we go, we might get to a point where magic is something that you can obtain, or more likely the equivalent of superpowers rather than casting spells. So the other thing to bear in mind, a combat style, which is how you, and I'm going to look to Medi for clarification on this, because combat styles are a bit confusing to me. But combat styles are basically how you fight, right? So if you've got a combat style that is pistol, it means you're skilled and can train in pistols. Is that right?
Basically, how it works is no matter, you can call your combat style whatever you want.
Right.
It's just then you lump it with whatever you use. So, for example, my character in Mythras uses a spear. So his combat style is called nomadic survival or whatever. Yeah. But that doesn't mean he can just use that weapon. It's just a name for. I mean, you've got to be training if you.
All right.
Yeah.
So I think then a slight difference that I want to do is I want to use combat styles to represent weapon training.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you don't have the relevant combat style, you can't use that weapon. Obviously, you're not trained in using that weapon. Doesn't mean you can't use it, just means you're a bit naff at it.
Yeah.
So combat styles use strength and dex, so it's worth making sure that if you envision your character being good in combat, making sure you've got a fairly high strength and dex. Hit points, I think, are keyed off Constitution, maybe.
I do believe you're right. It's standard with that.
Yeah.
There aren't any skills there at the moment that seems to indicate any combat styles at all. Like there's no pistols.
No, you add that in.
You add that in. So when you get to spending points, you can create. So if you look down below your professional skills, you've got a tab, a box that says combat styles.
Yeah.
So if you said you wanted to be proficient with bows and crossbows, you would create a combat style called bows and crossbows, or whatever you want to call it, archery. Yeah. And then you would define what that means. The same with if you see yourself as being able to use a pistol, you would create a combat style pistol, but it could actually be concealed, and then you can say I'm proficient in any weapon that could be concealed. So that could be a knife, a throwing knife, or a standard knife, a pair of knuckle dusters, etc. To Medi's point.
Yeah. Okay.
But don't worry about that just yet. I just wanted to point out that strength and dexterity are used to create your combat style.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for, to see which stats influenced the different styles, but there aren't any as such yet.
Yeah. And it should automatically update the roll value for all of your stats based on your characteristics as you set them.
Indeed.
And it's the small box that you set rather than, I think you figured it out, but rather than trying to overtype the big box, which is what I did the other day trying to build the character.
Well, I clicked on it didn't do anything, so I clicked on the small one.
Yeah. Okay, so once you've allocated those, don't worry too much just yet, because there are ways to influence and change that. You need to do, and I just need to make sure I've got this right.
What the hell?
Yeah. Tell me when you've done that, and then we'll move on to the next two, which is your size and intelligence.
All good.
Right. So you're not putting points into intelligence. You're putting points into.
It's literally just your strength, con, dex, power, char.
Yeah.
Strength, con, dex,
power and charisma. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I thought power might have been a derived stat because it's not a normal stat, but okay.
Okay, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to generate two values for your size and intelligence. And the way you do this is it's /roll again. 3d6, keep highest 2, plus 6. So if I reveal to everybody, you can see that I've got 14 in total, 5 plus 3, my two highest stats plus 6 is 14.
3d6, keep highest 2 plus 6.
Yeah. So if you do that twice and then allocate those to your size and intelligence. $13 each. Ooh, Catherine's got an 11. Okay. Average.
Oh, that's about time.
Beautiful. I guess Medi's going to be incredibly intelligent.
Oh, yes.
Or fat.
No, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, he could look like Jack Reacher, but...
Yeah.
Okay. So once you've... Yeah, he could. Once you've allocated everything, let me know.
30 and
Right, size and intelligence, that's good. Above average size anyway, that's good.
so 11. I don't even need to move. It's already set at that.
You may now choose to re-roll any one characteristic, but you have to use the new value. So looking at
easy.
Medi, you could choose one of your power or charisma. Yeah. Kath, your choice is harder. You could attempt to, and you've got to use the roll that you would normally use. So if you, for instance, decided to take a gamble on size, you would roll your keep high 3d6 plus 6, whereas Medi will roll 4d6 and drop and keep high 3 for power or charisma.
Yeah.
You don't have to. It's an option just to boost one stat. And
That'll do nicely.
Then he gets a nice 14 there. Oh, look at that. Kath gets a mega boost.
That's awesome.
Kath's dice are doing awesome tonight.
I think we should check them personally.
Only thing I've done is change the colour.
Yeah, it's that new Python programming you'll be doing it to
Okay. The characters that you're creating are effectively pulp level characters. So you may increase, where it says your attributes, you may increase the following attributes. You may increase your action points by +1. So if I'm looking at Catherall, for instance, you already have a +1. You may take that to a +2.
Yeah. Okay.
And the same with Medi, increase your action points by 1.
Yeah, done.
Increase your luck points by 1.
Ooh.
And if you go to your combat page, your hit locations, where it says hit points plus something, put a +1 in there. So you should just be able to put a +1 at the very top, and that should copy down to everything.
Gotcha.
I think.
It
Yeah,
does.
there you go. It does.
The left box doesn't though.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Okay. So now we go to skills. So skills are broken into 3 pools, and the assumption here is that you're creating a character that is between 28 and 34 years old. When you're creating a skill, the maximum number of points across the 3 pools that you have to play with to any one skill is 30. I think that's different to what you're used to, right?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it's 15 normally, right?
It's either 15 or 25, I can't remember which one it is, but it's one of those,
Yeah. So what that means is you've got a culture pool, you've got a career pool, and then what I call a life pool, but I don't know whether that's the right name for it or not. It's kind of like your hobby pool. You will each get 100 points to spend with your culture pool. You'll get 100 points for your career pool and 200 points for your life pool. When you want to spend the points, you simply click on the skill that you're interested in, and if you see in the top right hand corner it says training 0%, you will put your point allocation from that pool into there. When you finish with those 3 pools, you can't have allocated more than 30 points to any one skill. Does that make sense?
Indeed.
It will do to you because you're used to it. I'm more.
Sorry.
Does it make sense to Kath?
Yes, but I can't see where I actually put the points.
Okay. So if you click on athletics for a second, Kath.
Right. Okay.
Where it says when you click on athletics and it opens it up, it says you've got a training value in there. So you would put points that you want to spend. So the
Right.
first choice that you have is your culture. So if you click on the culture tab, I can show players here. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cultures to choose from. Each culture defines a set of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 standard skills and 7 professional skills that are tied to the culture. If it says pick one more at random, technically you're supposed to roll a dice, I think, but I'll let you choose the 4 or the 1 or whatever that you want. You've got every single professional skill that's available in this time period I've created under professional skills, and then you've got your standard skills. So the first thing to do then is to select your culture.
Right. Okay.
So, for instance, obviously, urban, you grew up and spend most of your life living in an urban environment. You grew up and spent most of your life living in a rural environment. You grew up but spent most of your life as Jack Reacher, wandering. You're a bit of a militant, so you've grown up and you've decided that you don't like everything and you want to be a bit militant about it. Or you've grown up and ended up in a seedy, part of a criminal gang or fraternity or something. Now, this is before you go into your career.
Right. Okay.
And then that defines the standard skills and the professional skills that you may choose. And then just allocate your 100 points to those skills. So you can type your culture that you choose under the culture box on your character sheet. I see how Medi very specifically comes from England.
Oh, you chose criminal.
I did indeed.
What the hell? So then, do I go through and tick?
Oh, by the way, yeah, if you put a point in it, it's considered trained. So make sure you tick the trained box. For some reason, I expected it in my head to auto.
I thought it, but my athletics one did, but my stealth one didn't.
No, I've just ticked your athletics.
Oh, have you? Sorry, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so when it's got the tick box on the main character sheet rather than going into it, you just tick the box, is classed as trained, or do you have to actually put a point in it first?
You're technically supposed to put a point in it.
That's fine.
Or you can, yeah. So you can tick all of those on that's listed on your culture. Tick all of those on the main thing. You don't necessarily have to spend points in them. It just means that you are able to. You can freely, in inverted commas, spend experience point rolls to try and increase those skills whenever you get experience points, rather than spending an experience roll to train in that ability. So you don't have to spend them.
Yeah. Okay.
Very nice. Just make sure you jot your culture in there for me, Medi, so I can see what you've chosen.
Oh, sorry, will do.
I like to see how Medi's using a mixture of imperial and metric.
Do you like it?
Just to confuse the hell out of people.
Yeah, I have no idea what 14 stone
I
is.
have no idea. I'm going to put. I'll change.
No, leave it at 14 stone. It's fine. I don't care.
Oh, caps lock.
2, 3, 4, 5.
So 14 stone in kilos is 88 kilos.
Okay.
And 14 stone in pounds is 196, Medi, not 100.
Yeah.
So 100
That
would
explains
make
why my doctor's always saying, "You're not that weight."
100 would make you 7 stone.
So I slide into people's apartments under the door.
Or 15 pounds. You'd be lighter than my youngest child.
Are some of these 100 points going to be needed to spend on the different combat things, or
You do not have a combat. You can elect to use one of your professional skill slots to unlock a combat skill if you wish. Bear in mind, you have a free pool and you have a career pool, and the career pool invariably gives you at least one combat style.
right? Because at the moment, all those only give unarmed or
Yes. Everybody
Yep.
gets unarmed, so effectively that allows you to just punch your way through a paper bag.
Yeah.
Um,
And we don't have to put points in every single one, do we?
no, you don't.
No, I didn't think so.
I just realised that I've chosen the wrong career.
Okay, that's fine. You can undo that. It's not a problem.
Yeah, the wrong culture. Some of the skills that I wanted, I just realised I didn't have. So
Yeah, no, that's fine.
that's before I spent any points, luckily.
Yeah, don't worry about it, Kath. It's not an issue. So it'll take a little bit of time getting used to it.
Yeah, I'll go back to what I was originally going to do.
If you're changing your career culture, remember to change it.
Yeah, I just typed that in before I took that in.
Ooh, Medi, you naughty boy.
What? Oh, well, I've done Streetwise, haven't I? Yes.
Oh, I can pick some at random. Okay. 1, 2, 3. So these 100 points don't have to be from these skills, or they do.
You can only spend them on those skills, yes.
Right, okay.
I think the majority of these these backgrounds, I just want to give a shout out. So these backgrounds come from a guy called Alex Green, who's written a number of blogs around Mythras, and he was covering some modern Mythras ideas and created a bunch of cultures. So I just lifted his cultures directly from that blog. So quick shout out there. And if Medi's got the general rules and character creation, culture choice is open. You can see a URL link to his blog. Well worth reading. He's got some ace stuff in there for Mythras and basic roleplay in general.
I shall drag it across and unpop it.
I am not ashamed to say I stole some of his ideas.
And that's why we're giving him full.
Yeah, exactly.
So yes, https://basicroleplaying.org blogs entry.
Yeah.
Okay, so passions. We've got 100 points to put into passions as well, haven't we?
Well, let's get to passions in a bit. Don't skip ahead, Medi.
Oh, sorry.
I know you're impatient because you know what you're doing.
So the third 100 points was just into any, wasn't it?
Anything that you have already. Yes.
Yeah, you've already done. Yeah.
No, it doesn't have to be anything you've already done. You can unlock any other skill you want, except I think in that one instance, if you train in a skill, you have to allocate points to it, because otherwise you could just claim I've unlocked every single professional skill.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
So let me know when you've done, Kath.
Okay, I've done the first 100.
Okay,
So
cool. Good.
That's where we're up to, isn't it?
That's where we're up to, yes. All right, so the next step is, if we go back to character options, the next step is to choose your career. And so I've got a bunch of careers listed here. Agent, which defines things like an assassin, a spy, a detective. First responder, something like a beat cop, SWAT, paramedic. Journalist, makes sense. Everything from a TV personality, newspaper journalist, all the way to a content creator, which in 2011, it's very early, but it's still viable. And then a hacker. Merchant, smuggler is more than, so a merchant is more than just a, I work for Tesco's. It's nothing wrong with that, by the way. It is more about, you are a weapons broker, weapons dealer, a smuggler, the kind of person that can get things for people, buying and selling. It's not really going to, I wouldn't really go down that route as such, unless you really fancy it. Pilot, makes sense, military, commercial, or it could be a sailor. Soldier is more of a, so it could be a sailor, a soldier, special ops, that kind of thing. Or if you really want to, you can do a custom where you would pick any standard skill. You get 2 combat styles and of your choice and unarmed, and then 7 professional skills of your choice. Those professional skills can, of course, be professional skills you've already got. Well, no, you want 7 new ones, really. So once you've chosen your career, make a note in your career box. And you have 100 points to spend on your career skills. Bearing in mind that no one skill can have more than 30 points spent in it at character creation at this point.
Right, sorry, I may have got ahead of myself here.
You already completed yours, haven't you?
No, I think I boobed already. See, I put 100 into standard skills and 100 into professional skills, but it's not. It's split between the standard and professional, isn't it, the 100?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I'm stupid. So let's reset them all.
See, so where I've got the good stats, he's got all the good skills because he's got twice as many as me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, I do like Catherall's damage mod. Catherall's got a good damage mod.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah,
1d4
must be high.
plus 1d4. Yeah.
Between careers. Okay, some of those professional skills don't seem to be on the character sheet.
Okay, which ones?
Healing, because you've got a
Healing.
first aid one.
Is it a professional skill?
Yeah.
Medicine.
Ah, right. They've just got different names. Right.
Yeah, let me edit because I copied the skill list from 2 different places.
Right.
So let me make. If you find any more, let me know.
Okay.
Gonna edit the character things now. And again, remember to drop your career into the career box on your character when you're done.
Yeah, I'm still trying to decide which one. the two I'm torn between are almost identical. So it's like, well, which things that I haven't got do I want?
Yeah. So which ones you're looking at?
Agent or first responder.
There's not a lot of difference. To be honest, there's not a lot of difference between all of them.
Yeah, it's more the professional skills then.
Yeah.
So,
by the way, where it says, I'm just going to change things slightly. So, because now I better understand, combat styles. I'm just going to say create 2. There you go. So I've been a little bit more, a little less descriptive about your combat styles. What I would suggest, though, is that a combat style must represent a different class of weapons. You can't say, I'm proficient with firearms and claim that you can use every type of firearm, especially in the UK where firearm usage is very rare.
Yeah.
So firearms would be
ranged. That's nearly everything.
Exactly. So firearms would be broken down into pistols, shotguns, marksman rifles, or other single shot rifles. No, I'd put revolvers under pistols. Right. I'm not that anal. And semi-automatic and automatic.
Yeah.
How about knife throwing and knife use? Would that be 2 separate skills?
I would put that under.
Oh, there's bladed on there, so.
I would put that. Yeah, I would say either bladed, and then you can have it as both.
Yeah.
Or, but only sort of. Just maybe just put it as a combat style knife skill or whatever.
Yeah.
And it can be used for both ranged and close work. And I would say, archery would be anything that fires a projectile. So a sling, a bow, a crossbow.
Yeah.
A harpoon.
Oh, that's an idea. Yeah.
But equally, just think about, if you chose journalist, for instance, and you can create you can choose a combat style. If you chose automatic weapon, automatic firearm. Yeah, how did you get that skill? Right. So just think, in this country in particular, firing a full automatic weapon is the purview of a soldier or other military individual.
Yeah.
Or an agent, right? You could be a spy that's learned how to shoot weapons.
Just out of curiosity, Maddie, have you got any first aid medicine type skills?
Not yet, but
Right, okay.
it depends on how things go.
I've got points in first aid
I
already.
did have until I took the 200 points out of my first selections.
Yeah, I've got points in first aid, but I haven't gone into medicine or anything like that. Because I've got a feeling we're going to need that.
So I see first aid as literally, I can patch you up. It's a field dressing, etc. I see medicine as not just being able to do sort of advanced first aid. Like, I would say first aid doesn't let you pull a bullet out, but medicine would allow you to operate to remove a bullet, or would allow you to, to understand the best medicines for certain situations.
Yeah.
I'm going to be fairly, I'm going to be fairly. I'm going to encourage you to think about how you can apply a skill to a situation, where standard skills would be the basic kind of stuff, and professional skills would be that more detailed level of information.
Yeah, it's the professional skills I'm looking at as trying to guess what Medi's got without, so that we've got as much covered as possible.
Yeah.
Well,
just in case you're wondering, so I would say medicine would also include pharmaceuticals. Engineering would include, and probably kind of biology type stuff, whereas engineering would be physics and chemistry.
Yeah.
And demolitions would be specifically not just using weapons, using explosives, but creating explosives as well.
Yeah, I wasn't even looking at the soldier one. The engineering would be
No,
useful.
I was just looking whether I'd got a science skill, and I hadn't. So we just have to think a bit laterally about how that works. Were you about to say something very profound there, Medi?
No. I'm never that profound.
Too many choices, right?
Yeah. See, there's certain skills that you want that you can only get if you go into one career.
But what if you? I mean, there's no reason why you can't do the custom skill, right? So you pick any eight skills plus unarmed plus 2.
Yeah, I might do that.
Plus 2 combat styles, and then you pick any 7 professional skills.
Yeah, that's probably the easiest way.
And then just define what your career is. So when I built, I mean, we played through Knights Black Agents using the gumshoe system, and I had a CIA operative that was actually a retired CIA operative, so everybody thought, and a journalist. So they had skills that were tied to journalism as well as contacts that were associated with journalism, and also skills associated with being a CIA operative. Actually, she was a double agent, but we don't go into that. She was a Jewish American and had started off life as a Mossad operative, switched to CIA, switched to journalism as a cover. It's
Yeah.
pretty good, actually. She's a great character.
Right. So any 8 standard. To come back.
Okay, that's my second 100 done.
I'm just choosing skills at the moment, so I haven't even spent points. Then already got unarmed. Then 7 others for them. So 1, 2, 3. 4. 5. 7. 1 more combat, and then spend the points. So is unarmed basic? I just
Unarmed is
so,
a pub fight. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
because so martial arts would be something different again.
Correct. Yes, and then I would say
That'd be a combat
pick,
style.
pick a martial arts that you major in, and you can then describe if you're using it. If it's a judo where you throw people, you can say, "I want to try and throw this person to the ground," or
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
I won't do yet. Go for martial arts because I think we'll need something with some stopping power.
So you're looking good, Medi. Ooh,
Yeah,
super
I think so.
secret.
Yeah.
Super secret.
I always forget how brutal. I know there's no concept of levels, but first level characters are in Mythras.
Yeah. Oh, I need to drive a car, and I've got a 37% chance of being
That's
successful.
right.
Yeah.
However, I think that's more of I need to drive a car in the middle of a chase
Exactly.
rather than I need to drive a car down the M1.
Yeah, with Miss Daisy.
Yeah.
What was the combat style you suggested for rifles and
marksman.
marksman.
So that would be any weapon, any rifle that is capable of shooting single action, or maybe semi-automatic short bursts. Like three. Where we'll call it single action.
That's fine. Oh, why did I roll that? I
don't know.
That was a damn nice roll, though.
No, that's a bad roll.
That's a bad roll. You failed everything.
Unless you use a point of luck to reverse it, then it's a good roll.
Is that how that works?
Yeah, we can make you re-roll. We can reverse it, or we can re-roll.
Don't know if I can. See, that's not built into the system, which is a shame.
No, you literally just it's not like you have it on Warhammer.
Or maybe one day I should learn how to program this and actually write that in.
We don't have it in ours, so don't worry.
Yeah, apologies. You have to keep track of the amounts you've spent.
That's why I have a new notebook.
You've got a new notebook for this, have you?
Yeah.
You're probably going to need it.
See, my original Mythras notebook with my very first character, very old, now grey. It's the first 4 pages are like just numbers of workings out.
Okay, that's how bonus points work. Okay, got it. Let me change this then.
Let's just double check that I'm not spent over. Sorry.
Ride is an odd one for a modern day character.
Well, you never know if you're in Afghanistan.
Well, exactly. You don't know if you go to the desert, right? You might need to ride a camel.
Yeah. Or if you go to that really, really good hotel place, you might charges by the hour.
You seem very short on skills, Medi, compared to Kath.
I've bulked up a lot, but I've not spent my third 100 yet.
Neither do I.
Wow.
Well, it's not 100, it's 200, but we'll get to that in a second. And actually, you've got to spend it. You've got to spend it. I didn't realise. I was just double checking the rules. You've got to spend it on skills you've already trained in.
Yeah.
That's where I've gone for the custom and filled in any skill gaps I had. So I'm very versatile in lots of different skills, but I've got a lot of points, but I'm not specialised in things.
Yeah.
All
right. When you've finished, then Medi.
I think that's it.
Okay, so normally you get 150 points, but because it's pulp, that goes to 200 points. So you can spend 200 points in any of the skills you have previously trained in. So you can't
But no more than 30 points. That's right.
The maximum in any skill can be 30, yes.
I might water some of mine down in that case then.
So yeah, tick all the ones that are part of the career type thing, even though some of them I haven't actually put any points into.
That's fine.
Just
so you can spend 200 points across anything you've got to tick in now if you want to.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what I can call the career.
What I would say is everybody should have native tongue, and everybody should have customs.
I
think
have
it's
both of
native.
those.
Yeah, I think it's native tongue and customs. Just double checking.
I don't know whether I
Ah,
chose those or.
So customs is specific to a region. So did you choose custom? You would have chosen custom, but you've not put anything in. So custom, I'm just going to fill everybody's customs out for them, just so you know what you get. You get you get customs UK, and you get a 40-point kick in it, and the same with native tongue, English. Right, Kath, do you want your native tongue to be English or something else?
I'll do English.
Okay.
Um,
So if you wanted to say native tongue, if you wanted to speak Welsh, you would have to have it as a separate skill.
yeah. Okay. I've got. I chose customs as one of my skills from things, so I've got another
Okay.
points that
Yeah.
I can spend to skills if
Yeah. You got
you'll get
another
it.
skill. Yeah, you've got another
Yeah.
skill that you can but you could do customs another language. Sorry, custom. You could do
Oh,
another native tongue other language if you wanted. Because we don't have
uh,
other languages
yeah.
represented on here. Oh yes, you do. You have
Yeah,
linguistics.
linguistics.
Yeah, it's more of a professional skill.
Oh, what the hell? There we go. I put a point into linguistics.
Yeah, no worries.
Um, and now we've got 200 points spread across that lot.
Everything,
Yeah.
yes. Again,
Okay.
maximum of 30 in anyone's skill.
Yeah. I haven't got 30 in anything yet.
Apart from customs UK and native tongue English, because both of those get a 40-point bump as standard.
No, I'm going to need to get my pad out to keep track of 200 points.
Super interesting to see you both have native tongue English at 66%.
Yeah.
You can both swear like a trooper most of the time.
Um, right. Twenty, 40.
There we go. Bumped up my skills.
Okay.
Um,
Barroom brawling. I love it.
Yeah. Now I'll add to it.
You've got lots of action points between you.
see. Where the hell did I get that from? Ah, there. Okay. 20. See. There we go.
Okay. You both spent your 200 points?
Yep.
Almost.
Might as well. Big tool. I'll work on my size and everything after. As in height and weight and things. Frame. Your character sheets really need to have weights that add up all your points just to make sure that you have
I
them right.
know.
I think I've spent right, but first time I counted, I was 10 short. Actually, let's open
I think that is spot on. In fact, those don't think about it. I know it's spot on.
All right. So at that point, are we both done?
Yep,
think
200
so.
spent.
So now you have one further choice to make. So at this point, your character would be aged between 28 and 34. You can opt to make your character older, so 35 to 45, 46 to 55. Sorry, that's slightly wrong, isn't it? It would be 28 to 35, 36 to 45, 46 to 55, 56 to 65. there are all that means. Well, you see, this is the bit that the book doesn't make sense to me. There are no detrimental penalties to say being 65 years old. You'd get a bump of additional skill points, but obviously at 65, things might be a little bit harder. So, for instance, if you chose to be, let's say, 40 years old, you'd get an extra 100 points to spend, and a skill can have a maximum of 50 points allocated to it.
Oh.
So it's up to you as to whether you want to be youngish or whether you want to be older.
So there's no downside.
The downside is going to be the older you are, the harder some things are going to be just by the nature of it. So if you're in your 60s, it's going to be a little bit harder for you to do serious athletic stuff.
Your knees are going to
Yeah.
be shot.
Whereas, so what that might mean is if you were making an athletics role and you were in your 60s, instead of it being a standard role, I might decide it's a hard or even harder than that, depending on what you're trying to do.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know what? Let's scrap that. Let's not use that
Yeah.
because there is no downside. So I would say just set your age to anywhere up to between 28 and 35. Let's get rid of that for now. Because there's no downside. And I couldn't see a downside in the book, Medi, as to why you would not choose to be older.
No,
See, some
it's very
systems,
I think it's sorry.
your stats changed in some systems, weren't they? So your
Yeah.
strength and is to go down, but your intelligence, wisdom might go up, for example.
I'd have to
And
check
other
the actual
systems-
Mythras rule book, but I'm sure there are in that.
I'll have a
Yeah.
quick look in case I've missed it. And if I've missed it, I can re-outline it. Okay. So just leave that for now. So just set your age somewhere between sort of 28 and 35. The next thing is passions. So passions, if you notice your culture, I'd created, there was like 3 passion examples. So a passion is something that you're, how do you describe it, Medi? That you're
Passionate about.
very, yeah, basically you're passionate about, but it's got to be more than a hobby, right? So
Exactly.
you could be passionate about wargaming, but you won't go to the ends of the earth to protect your right to wargame. Whereas you might be passionate for ensuring that the green belt remains the green belt and isn't built on. And so that could be a passion.
To give you an example, one of my passions on one of my characters is selfless protector, which means that if I'm diving in front to save somebody, I get that as a bonus, an augmentation to my actual role to do it.
Okay.
Yeah. So you get to choose or create. Hang on, I've lost it now. Where am I? Back under character options. You get to create 3 passions. The first one has 40 points, the second one 30, and the third one 20. So if a passion is a person, then it uses power and charisma. Organization or group uses power and int. A place, power and int. An object or substance, power times 2. Personality trait, power plus charisma. So an object or substance could be, like for Medi, he's passionate about smoking. An organisation might be church or, the police or
I put
something.
king and country.
King and country, that fits your character. And that is your top passion.
Indeed. Yeah. So 40, 30, 30.
Yeah. 40, 30, 20.
Sorry, 40, 30, 20.
That would be power and charisma. It's a personality.
And by the way, yes, you can create families for yourself. Do a little bit about backgrounds in a minute. I love your career, Kath. I think that's brilliant.
Oh, that's more or less what I built it around, that type of thing.
No, it works absolutely fine.
Passions up. What's wrong with these?
Why didn't it let me write in the box?
See. Are there any examples of passions anywhere?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah, just those.
yeah.
Let's just see family, people.
So yeah, so things like culture could be I have a family, so one of my passions is protect my family.
Yeah,
Culture could be protect my assets. I own a farm, so I'm going to do everything I can to keep that farm safe and out of the hands of anybody else. Keeping your head down, hurt the
yeah,
enemy, make somebody pay for the cause, chase a payday, keep your friends close, your enemies closer for the family. But for the family in quotation marks if you're a criminal because you
yeah.
talk about your gang. So it could be just anything that you think is relevant. You don't have to fill them in just now. If you're struggling to think of something, you can let your character develop and turn that into a passion.
Right. So I've gone for one of the hurt the enemy one. That sounds feasible for this character, but how do I tell which stats that I'm doing off that?
That is going to be 1 second. I've just closed the page down. I would say hurt the enemy is most likely a power and charisma, but let me just double check for you. I would say power and intelligence.
So pretty much the same thing. I think the
Same
stats
thing.
are the same.
Same thing if the stats are the same. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, power and intelligence, the same stat.
Yeah.
Right. Third one, I'm not sure on. Yeah.
Oh, I see. So I completely misunderstood, maybe.
Oh, thank you. I didn't see those.
Age is more about your starting character of that age rather than anything else. Doesn't seem to do much. If you want to create a.
But then it's down to role playing that old character as well.
Yeah. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be any penalties, so we will not do that. We'll just assume you're all the same.
I was going to say role playing old person. That's not a challenge for any of us.
Just
No,
draw
we're
on
gonna
real life experiences.
Yeah.
Oh, my back's gone again.
Yeah,
You're gonna hate it 'cause I'm gonna give you one more pool of points to spend in a minute.
I can't think of a third one. put down.
That's okay.
Kind of thing.
That's fine. You've got a couple. So the rest will come. The last one will come out as you start to get into the character and understand the game and the system.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last thing that you have is a pool of 300 points that you use to allocate towards contact and false IDs. You don't have to spend it now, and I would strongly recommend you don't spend anything now unless you have an idea off the bat for a contact or an ID that you have. The idea here is that during the game, if you think about preparedness in Gumshoe, where you decide you spend a point of preparedness to find that you do have a crowbar or a tire iron in the boot of your car after all. The idea here is that if a situation arises where you go, do you know what? Actually, I have been to Afghanistan, but I went there under the name of Faisal Al-Hazrad, and I have 300 of my pool. So if I just pull this open for a second. 1 second. So I have 300 points. Let's say I've not used any, and I decide that going to Afghanistan, I want to become Faisal Al-Hazrad. So I will allocate an amount of points out of that 300 towards the strength of that ID. And then when I present that ID at a border, or I get stopped by the police for speeding, and I give over that documentation, you roll against that ID. And if you're successful, then obviously nothing bad happens. If you fail, then that could perhaps trigger a warning that Faisal was already wanted somewhere else for something, or the border patrol scrutinizes it and realizes that the ink is slightly the wrong color, or it's an old forged passport that's missing the latest technology. Contacts and IDs will degrade over time based on how frequently you use them. A contact can be used for almost anything that you can think of, but obviously some things will be harder than others. So if you said, I have a contact in the British Army, and I want him to get me an automatic rifle, that's not, let's say you set that contact up to be 60 points or 70 points. That's not, you're going to find that you're going to be modifying that role, because it's going to be very hard for them to get off base with a full automatic rifle and make sure that it's not missed by the stores people. So obviously the higher the strength of your contact or ID, the more you can get away with. But if you succeed in your role, you're still going to degrade that skill by 1d4. That represents things like the ID gets put out there and gets noticed, gets added to the system. It represents the contact gets a little bit pissed off because you keep asking him or her for things and not giving anything back. If you fail, then it's a bigger reduction. The ability to increase your contacts pool is really down to me to decide if I want to give you any extra to the pool. Alternatively, you can save up 5 experience rolls, spend 5 experience rolls, and increase a contact or ID by 7%. And I may just randomly give you increases. If you critically succeed, then you can increase the value. If you by 10%, if you critically fail, then it's a significant decrease in that strength of that contact or ID. Did I explain that okay? Yeah. So again, you've got 300 points. You do not have to spend it right now. And what we'll do when you decide to spend it, and you can be anywhere at any point and just go, I have a contact that can help me, or actually I have an ID that allows me to get into here because this is my ID. And then what we would do is we'll create a skill that represents that contact or ID, and you can define in your notes or your journal what that ID is, and then that becomes canon for your character.
Fantastic. I'm going to hold off on mine for the moment.
Yeah, I'm spending it right now until you get into the game and you understand and need to use it.
I've got some ideas, but I'll chuck them at you over the week.
Yeah, cool. Okay, in terms of experience rolls, so the way experience works is every session I award you a number of experience rolls, a minimum of 2. Some of you may have boosts to your experience. I'm just looking. Yeah, Catherall does, Medi doesn't. So if I give you, Catherall, if I say you both get 2 experience rolls, you have a +1 experience modifier, so you would get 3 rolls. Top of your character sheet, you can track how many experience rolls you have outstanding. To increase a skill that you are trained in, you roll a D100. If the skill is over the value, then you increase it by 1d4 plus 1. If it is under the value, it increases by 1. The other box represents a fumble. If you roll a fumble at any time when using that skill, you click the fumble box where the lightning is. When it comes to spending experience rolls, if you have a fumble, you would increase the skill by 1 point, remove the fumble, and then roll any experience rolls.
The best way to get 3 points is fumbling.
Yeah. You can only... you can't do multiple fumbles, so I will award XP rolls every week, but not necessarily give you an option to spend them every week. To bear that in mind. So you don't spend rolls until I tell you that there is a suitable break in the game for you to do so. If you want to learn a new standard skill and you have at least tried it, then learning a new standard skill is just, that's fine. It costs you 1 roll and you just tick it as trained. To learn a professional skill, you need a teacher, and it costs you 3 rolls and time. If, for instance, I'm just looking at skills, let's say Kath was getting really pissed off with Medi's inability to spend money wisely and wanted to teach, and Medi wanted to learn commerce. Then over the course of a 1 month in game, as long as you tell me you're teaching him how to be better at commerce, then Medi can spend 3 rolls, to train in commerce at the end of 1 month in game. I can't find anything in the imperative system that allows you to increase your characteristics, Medi.
You've got to permanently spend every time XP to upgrade them. If you fail to do so, then they go back to the original value. So you'd say, for example, what we do on a Saturday night, if you've got 10 XP rolls, you'll allocate 5 to upgrading strength, for example, by 1 point.
Oh, okay.
So that is literally like going to you're spending that point to go to the gym and pump out. Okay. So the one time you don't spend it, you go back to your standard strength.
Oh, okay. So can you do that as often as you want?
Yeah, but you've got to keep spending the XP to keep it up there.
So if I spend 5 to say, Kath spends 5 to increase his strength to 18, can he spend another 5? Oh, is it only plus 1?
I'm sure it's only. I'll have to check. I'll ask him, Wills. In fact, are you on him, Wills?
If he is, and he can let me know, that's great, because I couldn't find anything in the imperative.
No, I don't think it's in the imperative. It's in the main.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Last thing is equipment and starting gear. So you all can have, if you roll 1d100 times 100, that's how much cash in your wallet, if you like. It's that's how much cash in your wallet you have. So that
100
times 100, yeah. I know that didn't work,
That's
did
not
it?
working
Roll 1d100.
Oh, asterisk rather than cross, idiot. Yes, me.
Yeah, there you go. Asterisk rather than cross. So then if you just put that in currency, I'll just call it pounds, and then I've given you both a currency, so I'll just change it to pounds.
Having flashbacks to Cthulhu. You're the rich one again.
Oh, yeah. It'll soon go, don't worry.
Yeah, just put so that isn't how much money you have. That's just how much cash you have in your back pocket, in your wallet, if you like,
Okay.
or in a bank account that you can get access to.
That didn't work.
What we call it, just...
There
Oh,
you go.
pounds
I've
cash,
just
fantastic.
and I just put the value in.
There we go.
I don't have every item. Hasn't got an item card, so we don't need to. You don't need to worry too much about that right now. I do have. What items did I create? So yeah, so just let me know if there's any specific items you want to have access to. Gear, clothing. So you've got clothing. So you can also elect to have things like a wardrobe of clothes, obviously. You can choose to have a vehicle, a car of some kind. No, you cannot have a Lamborghini. It would be a car that would be appropriate for your profession and situation. You can also choose to have a dwelling that is linked to your primary ID, your real ID. And of course, you can also decide anything else about your background. Are you single? Do you have a partner? Are you married? Do you have children? Do you have pets? All of that you can think about and decide, and just write information down in your journal or something as bullets to let me know. What else to talk about? So I'm electing to use commerce as a way to decide if you can physically afford the thing you want. So your cash that you have on hand is the kind of thing that you're not really going to spend it very often, but you might want to buy something, a pistol from a shady weapons dealer, and you need cash, and you've got enough cash on hand to buy it. If you wanted to increase your cash, then you can roll a commerce roll, and we can increase the cash in your back pocket based on the success of the commerce roll. If you wanted to go off and buy a motorcycle, then you'd use commerce to determine what you could afford in terms of a motorcycle. So both of you should probably have commerce as professional skills.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I've
you've
got
got
it,
it.
but
Yeah.
pretty good at it.
Yeah, you're not. It's more about your buying power. It's not that you're not good at it. It's your buying power.
Yeah.
And so again, commerce is something that you can elect to increase with experience rolls, but equally there'll be situations. So instead of looting things, I might just say, look, you can both add 10 points to your commerce to represent assets that you've got your hands on.
Okay.
In which case, I've just stripped 10 points out of one thing and I'll put 10 points into my commerce.
There you go. Don't blame you. If you want to do that, Kath, that's fine.
Might do actually.
So if you want to allocate 5, 10, 15 points from other skills, other professional skills, obviously, then you can put it into commerce. Buying a hotel room, a typical hotel room, I'm not going to make you roll. You're just going to be assumed to have cash and assets to buy a nice meal, a decent hotel room. However, if Mehdi wanted to do what he did in Trail of Cthulhu and rent out the suite in the top of the hotel, then I would probably make you roll a commerce check to see how successful you are, whether you've got the assets on hand to spend. Again, your ID, when you create a fake ID, whatever value that fake ID has will have a percentage. I haven't thought about it. I'm just thinking about this now. Will have a percentage associated with cash, etc. Probably half of whatever the ID is what your commerce value will be, but it can't be greater than your personal commerce value. So actually, your false IDs commerce would always be the same as your characters, your primary ID's commerce.
Right.
All right. What else? Yeah, there's a section on combat firearms. Firearms will kill you. Don't stand in the way. Don't stand out in the open. Get yourself down. Hide. Take cover. There's a table in here that I've copied with a bunch of firearms on, but we'll create firearms as you need them. Same with bows and crossbows. We've gone through character creation. We haven't forgotten anything.
Make sure I
And
put
then,
points into evade for firearms.
yeah.
Dive out the way I got overshot.
Exactly.
And just remember, this is a location-based damage as well.
Yeah.
Well, evade seems to be catch-all for avoiding, because
Yeah, but the problem with evade is it leaves you prone.
it doesn't mention anything about that.
Yeah, no, if you use evade, you end up prone, and then you have to use an action point to get back up again. And doing things while you're prone is a lot harder.
Yeah, so combat is done in rounds, and then you have a number of turns. The way, as far as I can see, Mehdi, am I right in saying certainly the way I think Inwills runs it? And again, if he's watching, he can confirm. You all roll initiative. Everybody's the first thing you go through initiative. You do your action, so you have a single action and a reaction.
Yeah, which
Reaction.
They both use action points.
Both use action points. At the bottom, if you have any action points left, you go back to the top, and anybody with an action point left continues through the initiative step again.
Exactly.
And then if people still have action points at the end of that, you carry on until. So in my mind, it's very much like the Shadowrun, exactly, 5th edition, where you take 10 off your initiative each time until nobody has an action left, and then it starts again at the top with your initiative.
I was going to say I've done something similar before. I haven't played Shadowrun, so it must be another system as well, but yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, but in the same breath, you can use 2 action points in one round by shooting, for example, and then evading. So that would then limit, and you've got to really plan out when to use the second action point.
Yeah. The cool thing is, because we're playing with more pulp level characters, you both have a huge number of action points, which is awesome. The other thing is luck, right, Mehdi? So luck can be used to... You can only spend 1 luck point in support of a particular action. You cannot spend luck on experience or training rolls. Sorry, let me go back to experience for a second. No.
You can spend a luck point to buy another action.
Oh, can you?
Oh, can you in this? I'm just reading that there. You can in ours.
Yes, you can. Yes. Yep. Yes. So you can cheat fate. So you can re-roll or swap any dice for any skill roll, damage roll, or anything else that has some effect. You can also use a luck point to force an opponent to re-roll attack or damage.
Which is nice when you get that critical roll and we go, no, can you just re-roll that, please?
You can make a desperate effort, which allows you, if you have no action points during a fight, you can spend a luck point to gain an additional action point. And you can also use a luck point to mitigate a major wound.
That's
so
an
you can
important one.
downgrade luck. You can downgrade a major wound to a serious wound.
Do they refresh at all? Or
Every week.
Every week.
ooh, that's a lot of fate points.
So when you have 5 luck points, yeah, right. So I'm going to add one more thing because I think this is cool and I'm hoping this is going to work. So let me just add this to my notes so we can see how this works. You can spend a luck point. Let me just copy this to introduce a subplot or change to the story.
Oh, nice.
You cannot use a luck point to basically say, no, that bad guy is not there. And you cannot use a luck point to say, actually, no, that bad guy is not really hard. Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator. He's actually really wimpy.
It's Mr. Smithers.
Mr. Smithers, yes. Outside of that, you can basically use a luck point to introduce a change to the game. Or change a situation. You can do it a bit like preparedness as well. So you can say, I'm going to spend a luck point to actually say I do have this thing in my car or on my person.
Yeah, we have something similar. We have heroic points, which we get through because I subscribe to his Patreon, so I get a free one every month.
Nice.
And that's very similar to that, which is, you can do heroic things with it. Changing things and whatnot. Yeah. Very good idea.
You can also use it to buy a clue or succeed. No, buy a clue, not succeed in a roll because you would never use cheat fate that way.
Exactly, yeah. I always like using cheat fakes. I like the bit of narrative that I do with it as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, do we need to add any equipment yet, or
No, just leave the equipment for now. So
yeah, those are
the key thing here is have a think. Don't need to do it right now. Have a think about whether your character. You can both have houses, right? But think about your situation. Are you realistically going to have a 4-bedroom detached house in a suburban location and be single?
No, I've just got a little flat.
So
Yeah,
just think about that. And the same with a car, right? You can have a car, but think about what was available in 2011, not what's available today.
Got an awesome Astra.
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah. I was thinking bike.
Oh, a bike's fine. Yeah, a bike is absolutely fine.
I was thinking I've got a small house in the middle of a forest hidden away type of thing, and I get to it via a dirt bike.
Yeah, little pedal bike.
No.
Because you're green.
So just bear in mind the bike will be licensed and insured and registered to your character. The same with any dwelling that you have at this point.
Yeah. I was just thinking out of the way, not living in the middle of a city type thing.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Okay, let's take a 10-minute break, come back, we'll kick off with an intro, we'll get the game going, and we'll see how it flows.
Fantastic.
Because I think characters are done.
Yeah.
Back in 10.
Just watch every good roll I make from now on. Fumble.
No. Yeah, the fact you got the XP bonus is brilliant, and your damage bonus is really good. But then again, it's what yeah, it's how you use your character and your skills. It's yeah. No, I've not. I've done a specialisation in just what my character would do. Wow. I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna pop and get something for Lisa. No, sorry, talking to Lisa, sorry.
Oh, it's still going.
It's at 49%.
That's like my
Ouch.
cooking. I just found out that 7 years ago today, I sold £20 on eBay for 52 quid.
£20.
It was when the new fivers first came out, and I went to a cash point and I got the AK-47 ones, and they were consecutive.
Oh, wow.
So I put them on eBay thinking, oh, I'll put them up for like a reserve of 25 quid, and it actually went up to 52 quid. People are stupid.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, she just said about this new TV show that's on by the creators of Lost, where about this town that you can't leave.
Oh, okay.
Which sounds a lot like an island that you couldn't leave.
Yeah. I was going to say, it sounds like Petition, doesn't it? It's like you're never going
It
to...
sounds like Lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's from the
It's
makers
like-
of Lost.
I remember Lost was... Mark says it's like, you'll never guess what's happening. And I was predicting things 3 weeks ahead from about 5 episodes in. It's like, yeah, she's going to kill her. Yeah, that happened. I gave up after a few episodes.
I didn't ever finish Lost, and
No.
I got lost. And I got lost.
I think I got about probably about 7 or 8 episodes in, if that.
Oh, I got further than that, but anyway, are we ready, Medi?
We are good.
So, welcome to tonight's Black Agents. I want to set a scene before we kick the game off. Imagine an alternative England or the United Kingdom in 2011, where, unbeknownst to 99% of the population, the novel by Bram Stoker, Dracula, is not a novel, but is actually a work of fact, an after-action report detailing the events of a group of British officers attempting to capture and, if you like, turn Dracula to the British Empire's own purposes. And so as we begin the game, our players are blissfully unaware that vampires are real. Our players have experience in the clandestine world of spies, or the military world of combat, I guess. And the questions that I want them to answer as we start are whether or not they're still active in their career, or whether they have since mustered out. If they've mustered out, why? If they're still active, what have they been doing? Why are they back in England? And in particular, why are they currently located in London? The other question I want the players to think about and answer as we go through a round of introductions is whether or not they know each other. If they know each other, how? If not, that's fine. We can bring everybody together, as you will see. So without further ado, let's introduce our regular Monday night players, Catherall and Medi, and get them to introduce their characters as they are at the start of this, for want of a better word, vampire spy thriller. Who wants to go first?
Medi.
I'll quite happily go first, yeah. Hi all, I'm Medivac and I'm playing Sam McRae. He is an ex-SAS officer. He's basically done his tours and is now left to retire. He's found that once he left the SAS, his money didn't go as far as what he thought it would. So he spent most of the last couple of years just getting up little jobs, using his particular set of skills to earn money. He does have a little bit of a gambling habit. So once he's paid for his flat in London, which isn't the best thing, it's in like the East End. So he's not spending a huge fortune on that. He does tend to go to the gambling halls and tries his damnedest to know when to stop. Doesn't happen that often. So he tends to find himself again looking for another job.
Excellent. Thanks, Mary. Kath.
Funny enough, I was thinking I was from an SAS background as well, but not so much the shooters as the support. Has got varied skill set, jack of all trades, master of none, so to speak, and that's probably where we know each other, because we've worked together in the past, where I've been more behind the scenes or putting things together to make things work for the team. Living in a small cottage, you might say, in a forest in Wales. At the moment, he's no longer working for them either. Just doing odd jobs, fixing electronics or giving tours of the Welsh countryside and things. Just something to kill time as much as anything else. Doesn't tend to spend much, so just sightseeing and relaxing more than anything else at the moment.
What's your character's name, Kath?
Mark Silvers.
Mark Silvers.
Yeah.
So Mark will know that that Sam's particular skills. He's mainly. He's good. He's good for combat, but his main job was to find information, break into places, and either destroy or take things. He
Cool.
wasn't in no way a front gunner. Again, he's somebody who would sneak around into places, like I say, do a bit of scouting, gather information, and either.
I've got quite a few of those skills as well, so yeah, that makes sense as to how we know each other.
Excellent. Well, thanks for that. So it's currently August 31st. We'll get to the time in a moment. The year, as I mentioned, is 2011. So that means if it existed in 2011, you can use it. No holds barred. So what I mean by that is, by all means, utilize Google Maps, any other map tool software that you prefer. If you can find a reference to something that feels like it's related, bring it up. We discuss it. As mentioned earlier during character creation, for example, you might find a reference to something that feels like it's linked to what we're doing in the story. You can then spend a luck point to influence a narrative and bring that in as a valid part of the story that we can explore. Smartphones exist, although maybe not quite as fast and sophisticated as they are today. Certainly, I think in 2011, I had an Apple phone. If I didn't, I had a BlackBerry. So you can both have smartphones. Fashion. Yeah. So again, like I said, if it existed, you can have it. Within reason, obviously. You don't have Black Hawk helicopters because they are, although you might be able to fly a Black Hawk helicopter, obviously you didn't muster out of the military with a Black Hawk helicopter that's parked on the bottom of your field, Mr. Mark Silvers. So as we open the story, as I mentioned, it's August 2011. It's been a fairly okay. It's been fairly okay weather-wise recently. Not too bad. A little bit damp on an evening. Well, no, I don't think it was damp on an evening. I did check, and I thought I wrote it down, but I haven't a bloody clue where I wrote it down. On what the weather was. I did check, believe it or not. Anyway, so where are we? You're currently, as I mentioned, you're currently in London, specifically in the run up to the current point in the game, which we'll get to in a second. You both receive an email from an anonymous source. The email is this. Entitled Know the Truth, it will open your eyes. Both of you probably saw this, maybe passed it off as spam for a moment or two, but there was just something nagging you about it. The fact that when you checked, for instance, the email address, it came from somebody called Hopkins. A blind copy to both of the two of you, and it just says agent contacts in the BCC. And it reads, Sir, you don't know me, but I believe we have things in common. You are people of integrity and secrecy who can help me. I believe the cycle has begun again. There are 4 to go before it will stop. Same MO, same area, same man, ? Meet me at the 10 Bells Pub, Commercial Street at 8 p.m. tonight, 31st of August. I put that in there so we know that that's what it was referenced. The email was received earlier today. And I'll tell you what I know. I hope you'll agree it's worth looking into. Make sure you're not followed. To show I'm legitimate, here are photos of each of you I'm sending this to, plus one of me. I'll be in the red Nike hoodie, skirt and boots. And it's signed Hopkins. The email, the picture is literally, it's both of you. Both of you probably in normal army fatigues. Nothing to symbolise that you're members of the SAS, but it's certainly pictures of you. 2011, did you both serve in Afghanistan?
I would have thought so.
Probably, yeah.
Going and retrieving information about the Taliban and things like that.
Okay. So it will be pictures of both of you relaxing on one of the British bases in Afghanistan. Pictures that were never published. And so you're surprised to see them, but it does kind of lend that air of legitimacy, but also a slight air of concern for people of your background. And the third picture is of a woman, red hair, rather striking looking, as you say, with a picture of a hoodie up. This was done on Night Cafe, by the way.
That's a really good picture.
I was to say, is that why there's something weird with her eye?
Yeah,
That's...
night. Yeah, there's just something slightly odd, isn't there? So you've got to ignore the eye. That's a bit.
That's fine.
But yeah, I hadn't spotted that, Kath.
I hadn't noticed either, and I wouldn't have said no.
Now I can't unsee it.
First thing weird things jump out at my eyes, and that's the first thing I spotted.
So, the 10 Bells Pub, Commercial Street. What are your thoughts? I guess at this point, Mark, you've probably come into London, maybe even to spend a couple of days just chilling with Sam, sorry. I want to call him Alex. Maybe is it something you would do regularly, once a year, twice a year, once a quarter, just to keep in touch with your old pal, or what brought you to London?
Making sure I've not gone off the wagon.
Yeah, it'd be semi-regularly, maybe every other month or something. Check that he hasn't got into too much trouble with gambling debts.
Yep.
And just to look around. familiarise myself with. Probably meet up with some other friends in the area.
Okay. Did you come up on a bike? Did you come up on public transport?
I'd probably use public transport. Probably call the train or something.
Cool. All right. Okay. Cool. Mark. Sorry,
Bob.
Sam. I'll get names right once my brain clicks in. What have you been doing the last couple of days? Obviously, your pal from your time in the forces, Mark, is over at the moment. But in general, what have you been up to?
I've just been mooching around the flat. I've been going down to my garage and making sure my car's all right, but scratching my hand and trying to resist the urge to go to the local casino.
Okay.
But yeah, just generally just checking the local news, what's going on. But apart from that, really nothing. Just waiting for the next job to come in.
Okay. All right.
Just out of curiosity, before it happens, when you added the pictures to my character sheet,
Yeah.
should it have changed anything else? Because the experience mod's changed.
Ooh. Isn't it done?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Have a look. See what it's done.
I don't know how the experience mod works to check whether it's right or not.
I'm not even sure what skill it goes with your experience mod.
That +1 for an experience mod. Yeah, you had a +1 for your experience. That was fine.
Yeah, I don't know where it came from as to whether or not it was supposed to be there or not.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. You've had it since you put your stats in.
Put it back
Okay.
in. Oh, it won't let me.
What's your? Yeah, no, it's legitimate. Don't worry about it. It's auto-generated based on a stat value. Off the top of my head, I can't remember what it is.
No, I can't either. I'd love to know which one it is.
What's your reaction then to the email? You would both get it to your respective email addresses. Are your email addresses public? Are they private?
I'd have multiple email addresses, some public, some private.
Okay.
This will probably be a private one.
So that's what's attracted you to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's usually email that I get my jobs on, which is why I've opened it and looked at it and thought this isn't my usual contact.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what's your reaction? Are you going to chase this up? Are you going to follow it up, or are you just going to ignore it?
I'm going to see if I can find out where it's come from.
Okay.
So try and backtrack the email address and see if there's any clues as to who this Hopkins is.
Okay. Do you have computers?
Yep. Not great in it, but
Give me a roll. So literally just roll your skill.
If you click on the actual percentage, I think it should roll that.
Yeah, percentage rolls it. Yeah.
I clicked on the name and wondered why it wasn't working. No chance.
Okay. As far as you can tell, this has been sent by a straight up anonymous at like anonymous 4376 at googlemail.com.
Okay.
Nothing in it to suggest it's come from a corporate address or anything. So just for people who aren't familiar with Mythras, so a standard roll is against your base skill, right? And then easy is 20 above your base skill.
Mm-hmm.
And then very easy is 40 above your base skill. No, because those maths don't make sense. Is it? I don't know.
I've never been able to work it out. Emails can do it off the bat.
Yeah. Yeah. Have a look. It's going to annoy me now if I don't figure it out. Oh, okay.
Is it 36 plus 16 is
So it
plus 18?
It's
Sorry, it's 18s, isn't it?
yeah.
it's
So
like
it's
half again.
yeah.
So
So
36
it's
half at it is
Yeah.
easy.
right. So that's right. So very easy is double the skill. Easy is half plus 1.5 times. Standard is no adjustment. Hard is one, reducing the skill by a third. Formidable by a half. Herculean, reduce the skill to 1/5. And then hopeless is not possible. So hopeless is just not listed. And so, just like any other system, if you think of it as a difficulty class, so if I say, you need a hard success in order to do it, you'd roll your skill and you'd be looking for a hard or better roll. And then remember, you can spend a luck point to reverse the dice or make a re-roll if you wish. And to do that, unfortunately, unlike something like our Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay module, you will physically have to reduce your luck points and then just do a re-roll, or just tell me you're reversing and we can figure out what the success looks like at that point. So in this instance, you've not been able to glean anything new or unexpected about the email.
Okay. Yeah, as I'll see it's not come from anywhere official that works from that should know this email address. So I'm curious as to what's going on.
I'd like to just Google the 10 Bells pub in Commercial Street.
Okay. And you can definitely do that.
Oh, I wonder if I can. Let's try it.
Of course you can.
Right, let me just light my Google up. There we go. '84 Commercial Street.
Exactly. Now, remember, if you're looking at things like Google Maps or Street View, you need to set your Street View to as close to 2011 as you can get. So, for example, if you look at a view of the 10 Bells pub on Street View, the earliest, the earliest is July 2008. And then July 2012. So obviously the 2012 view is not relevant because that's in advance of your current time zone. So in 2008, the 10 Bells pub is rather, the building looks worn and somewhat dilapidated. Definitely in need of a good coat of paint. In terms of the area, as you can see, it sits on the corner of Commercial Street and Fournier Street, in the just across from the Spitalfields Market, a well-known sort of shopping experience where you can get a range of fashion, home goods, and food markets. Part of the East End of London.
That's really good.
I didn't know you could look at it from different times.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I figured out how. I'll look at that after.
So if you go to just go to a general map of, if you search for 10 Bells Pub Commercial Street, you'll see a pin gets dropped on the map. You can then grab the little person down in the bottom right hand corner, and when you hover over the person, it should say browse street view images. You can drop the image to wherever you want. If it's a solid line, then it's kind of a street view, it's a car view. And if it's a dot, it's a picture that somebody's taken. so you can
Yeah,
look at the picture.
It
But
was
bear-
the date side I didn't understand, but yeah, it
Yeah.
just lists them at the bottom.
And then if you look at when you look at the map, in the top left-hand corner where you've got the search bar, and then below that the address you're looking at, it says see more dates. If you click on see more dates, you can. It's not the name of an individual, by the way. It is this is actually
Mr. Seymour Dates.
you can see all of the images that have been officially taken by Google for that location. And so the earliest it goes back to is 2008. So if you look at the 2008 view, that's an approximate view of what the 10 Bells pub would look like in 2011.
Yeah.
If you look at the 2012 image, you can see that the buildings kind of had a replaster on the upper facade, the facade of the building, compared to how it looks now. So it looks much neater and tidier. Other things to note, for example,
Street cam.
Exactly. So if you wanted to, figure out, let's say somebody's missing and you know that they entered the 10 Bells pub, if you can find out where those street cams are run from, and for the audience, that would be more of a theoretical, we would say, maybe it's probably highways or something. So you'd go to the local highways and try and crack into that and gain access to the camera. Maybe it's connected to the internet. Maybe you could try and hack it from the internet type thing. That becomes a bit more license for interpretation. But then you could use it to say, well, I'm looking across these dates for a particular event. Do I see it? What do I see? Etc., etc. So whenever you're looking at images and things on Google Maps, do pay attention to what's around it, because there might be something that you can absolutely use to further the story and get you a clue or something that you're interested in. So those
Two
are 10
things that jumped out to me was that there's 2 extra doors on the 2012 and 2008.
You
2
can't
extra
see
ways
into,
in or out.
you can't see into the future.
Yeah, but there might have been at 2011.
Yes. So if you look at the 2008, where those 2 doors are, it's actually that barred area, that blocked up area under the Truman, Hanbury and Buxton wording on the bar. The other thing to note, it's age. So, actually, Truman, Banbury and Buxton, London brewers since 1666. So that's the beer they serve or served in those days. And then by 2012, that had disappeared, and they'd got a new sign, and like you say, they'd got the doors. Bedwell Coram is still next door.
And the actual pub itself has 3 CCTV cameras on the building itself.
Does it?
2 on the left side of the building and 1 on the right.
Oh yeah.
I've seen the one on the right.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Oh yeah, one pointing down into the street itself.
Yeah, and the other one covering the door or the front. And then the other one on the far right is just going to the street level.
Yeah, there you go. So all those little things do help you to kind of.
Oh, there's another one above it. They're pointing across the street as well.
No, that's an exhaust flume.
No. If you go to the one on the right, where the sign is, and go straight up from the sign.
Oh, okay.
You can zoom in. Remember.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. So that's what you know. It's not well. I don't want to give too much away about the 10 Bells at this point in time. It's probably not somewhere, Mark, Sam, that you have drunk in.
No,
but given that you said
spit and sawdust by the looks of it.
Given that you said, though, that your flat is in the East End, it's probably worth establishing, not necessarily right now, but certainly by the next game, exactly where in the east end your flat is.
Indeed, yeah.
Okay. So the email seems to suggest that this lady in red, this Hopkins, is hoping to meet you at around 8 p.m. in the 10 Bells pub. I'll leave it on a hang there because are you going to go?
Oh, indeed, yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So you're going to get, how early are you going to get there? You're going to get there bang on time? You're going to get there a little bit early?
Early, definitely.
Definitely early.
Scout out the area.
Okay. And like anything, I would expect that you're going to probably find a corner table, perhaps.
Yeah, back to the wall.
Yeah.
Just
Back
so I
to
can
the
view
wall.
who's coming in and out the doors.
Okay.
Get a nice dark beer.
Okay.
Keep an eye out for anyone that's paying attention to us.
Yep. Okay. Remarkably, I mean, it is it's a Wednesday evening at the height of summer. It is 2 days after what would have been the late August bank holiday Monday. So London itself is fairly busy at this time of the year, just before we start to see children going back to school and the tourist season starting, the summer tourist season in particular starting to wind down. After after a while, nobody's paying attention to you. You're probably a couple of beers into your evening. And time-wise, we go past 8 o'clock and there's
So
no sign.
Is the screen supposed to be black?
Oh, can you not see anything?
No.
Oh, okay. Why not? Why not?
I'd refresh the page as well. I thought it was something to do with the street
Still
view, but
black?
it's all black.
Yeah.
Still black. Oh, God, I always get this wrong.
Now I can see the street map.
There you go. Street map. That's all this is. There's nothing special about this. It's just literally a street map showing you exactly where you have come to.
Okay.
Time ticks on. You go past 8 o'clock. There's no sign of the woman, no sign of any woman wearing a Nike hoodie, skirt, trousers, boots,
Ginger hair.
gingerish coloured hair, auburn hair,
Auburn.
redhead. Time continues to tick. There is a fair crowd in here by this time. The bar seems to be, or the pub seems to be quite popular. And it seems to be popular with tourists of various kinds, but what you would notice is there is a higher presence of Asian tourists in here. Many of them kind of poring over guides to London and talking in Japanese or Chinese to each other. But 9 o'clock comes round.
It's well, I'm going to be sitting there and chatting to Mark, but I'm also going to be using my peripheral vision to see if anybody's taken any particular interest in us.
Okay. Give me a perception roll. Why not? Let's get a perception roll going.
Oh, do you know what? I am going to use a point of luck and reverse that.
Okay, you're going to use a point of luck, reverse it. Well, you just re-roll.
Oh,
Jesus.
nice.
Well, okay. So that's a critical success. So that's awesome. So you both succeed, although Mark is much more focused on the people around him. Kind of, again, nothing seems out of place.
Okay, I'm
And
gonna.
then, apart from, there is something that's slightly out of place. Well, not slightly out of place, but is kind of, Mark. Two things jump out at you, and then an addition. Well, and then the third thing also, Sam, you on your reverse, so you would get a standard success, wouldn't you, on a
Indeed,
39? The other thing the thing that jumps out to you. So first and foremost, a series of police cars or police vehicles with sirens going go streaming past the pub, heading, if you look at the main map, heading south. So heading in this, I can't ping. Why can't I ping?
Left mouse button.
Heading in this direction.
Okay.
The second thing that grabs Mark's attention, makes him kind of sit up, is a guy comes running. Well, not quite. Yeah, sort of. He comes walking in to the bar, into the pub, but seems to be a little bit out of breath, and his whole demeanor is a little bit surprised. Worried is a good way of describing it. And he goes over to the bar, and you pick out a couple of words. Jumper down the road.
Okay.
And then the third thing, Mark, is that your mobile rings 3 times and then stops.
Is it a number I recognise?
It's not a number you recognise, but it's also not an anonymous number. The number comes up as 07700 900408. And it was one of those that was just long enough for the number to flash up, and then it kind of says, call abandoned or whatever, missed call.
Okay,
But it is not a number that is in your contacts list. And is this mobile phone a phone that you give out regularly, or is this a number with very few contacts in it?
Very few contacts.
Okay, so that's also surprising for you. We're still not quite in the era of people pretending to be Microsoft specialists.
I was
phoning
about
you
to
up on
do
your
that.
mobile. Yes. No, don't do that, mate.
I'll do a Google search on it to just see if it comes up as any business or anything.
No, it just comes up as it seems to be registered to. Let's have a look. It registers as an Orange Network mobile phone.
Okay.
By the way, the 07700 number, just in case, is a reserved number by Ofcom for use in TV or other public drama type things where you might want to give out or show a mobile phone number.
Mine's
Much
gone
like
straight to a Chinese thing.
Yours has gone what?
I just Googled it and it's gone to straight to like a Chinese.
Or was it?
Yeah.
I just picked a number that was part of the Ofcom reserve number.
It's called Scribed.
Yeah.
It's on a PDF document.
Technically, it should be a fake mobile number.
Okay, I'm going to go over to the bar.
Yep.
You could get pictures on your mobiles back then, couldn't you?
Yeah.
I'm going to show the barman saying, "Has this woman been in?" and show the picture that she emailed us.
Barman looks at the picture. Can't say I've seen her, sir. No, not tonight. Not ever, actually. Really. You expecting her?
Okay. She arranged to meet us here tonight, but didn't turn up. Just wondering whether we'd missed her, or she'd come in another night or something, and we got.
Well, I'd say she'd stand out a little bit. Would that, lass? No, I can't say I've seen her this evening, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Would you have told me about overhearing the guy say jumper?
When I come back, I'll mention that. I'll say that. Because I was going to head over to the bar anyway, so it'd probably be around the same time that I overheard.
Well,
yeah.
I want to speak to the guy that came in. So what, mate? What's this about a jumper?
It's horrible. It's horrible, mate. Down the road at the multi-story car park there, some lasses on the top. Oh, at least I heard some lass was up there going to jump. Or looked like she was going to jump.
Did she do it?
I don't know. The police were on their way. I heard the sirens, and I thought I'd best get out of there. You know what it's like. Don't want to talk to the plod.
No, too right, mate. Too right. I don't suppose you saw what she looked like.
No, mate. No, it was a little bit hard to see. Really. Yeah, it's not. I was going to say it's not dark. It's the wrong time of the year for it to be dark. No, mate. Red, I think, though. I'm sure she was wearing something red from what I remember. But, I didn't want to stick around, mate.
No, totally agree, mate. Totally agree.
Oh, but it was horrible. If that's what she was going to do, it looked like she was thinking about it at least.
It's this time of year, mate. I mean, people are just, it's bonkers. End of summer, isn't it?
Bonkers, yeah, absolutely. Outside now, you can hear the increased blaring of horns.
I'm going to give Mark a nudge and nod out the door.
Yeah, no show. I'm curious as to what's going on.
Let's say everything seems to be coming from down here towards White Row.
It said down there, mate. From what he was saying, it could be that bird we're supposed to be seeing.
That's a strange coincidence. Yeah, let's go check it out.
Oh, she's wearing red, wasn't she? She's supposed to be giving you a red top.
Yeah.
As you wander down the road, there is definitely a crowd forming, probably close to the White Row junction.
Just head down and see. I'm looking up at the car park and see if we see somebody stood up there.
No, you can't. What you do see, hang on, where are we going? Right, what you have is a multi-story car park that looks like this, or at least a corner that looks like this.
Ooh.
Okay, so it's not as tall as I pictured it, but it's not tall enough.
This area here, where you can see the barrier, has been cordoned off, has been blocked by a police van. And there is a flurry of activity beyond the van. There's a couple of police officers sort of stationed each side of the van, and a piece of tape that's running from the corner around and then across the road in like a big sort of U-shaped, just kind of cordoning this whole area off with police car either side, basically stopping traffic. They're also holding people back, sort of beyond the view of down this passageway. You've got where that black bollard is, probably kind of holding people back there, arms out. Sorry, sir, you can't go past. This part of the road's closed off, etc., etc. And seems to be a lot of police, but not a lot of urgent activity. And you can certainly not hear anybody on a megaphone or anything like that calling as if they're talking to somebody in distress. And I should have said this could be a trigger for people, so just be aware.
Yeah, I'm going to
Indeed,
listen out to the people around and the police, see whether there's discussions that she's already jumped, or
Yeah, give me a perception roll.
and any sign of ambulance about. Keep clicking on the name instead of the number.
Yeah, it's what you naturally want to do, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. There's a couple of people talking to you, talking to each other quietly. And you do get the sense that somebody has jumped from the car park, the top of the car park. There is an ambulance here, but what you will see is a black van with the words private ambulance along the side or on the rear.
Interesting.
Anyone else around the ambulance that looks out of place that isn't police? Like
No.
Okay.
No. So what you can see, so as you kind of come up to that U shape, you've got a couple of coppers in a van kind of blocking the area, stopping the traffic, letting people through. You can see the typical sort of a couple of forensic police dressed head to foot in their white kind of forensic overgowns who are carrying some equipment down the passageway. But again, the view is pretty much blocked, and you imagine it's tactically blocked deliberately by the van. A couple of them are kind of carrying sort of an awning or a tent that clearly they're going to put up over an area. The black private ambulance is sat just the other side of the van, and it's pointing to come out. So it's kind of like as though it's reversed in or gone in and turned around. So there's, as far as you can see, there's probably a half dozen police, 2 at this end, 2 at the far end, a couple more milling around. There are probably 4 forensic officers, or I assume the police as opposed to private civilians, but it doesn't really matter. And there is this black van with a couple of people in dark suits, just kind of leant up against. One of them is smoking.
So, Mark, this just seems a little bit over the top for somebody who's just jumped off a car park.
It does. Look at the 2 guys standing there, looking at their stance and the clothing. Do they look military or armed or anything, like concealed weapons?
Yeah, I'd like to look at that as well and use my my law strategy and tactics just to see.
Give me a law strategy and tactics roll, please.
Yeah, I don't have that.
Oh, that's a critical
There we go.
Shakalaka.
Right. So the police look like police. The two guys in black, definitely not mortician. Or, well, no, that's a bad phrase. There is more to the two guys in the black suit than their outward appearance portrays. They are definitely military trained.
And I will relay that information.
I thought there was something strange about them.
Nah, it's the way they're stood, mate. It's like they're covering angles.
Yeah. They're guarding rather than just drivers waiting for.
Detail would be a good way to describe them.
Yeah.
A lot of people come out of the military, they go into private, maybe more so in the US, but certainly private protective detail in the UK is an option for a lot of ex-military people. So they definitely have that air about them.
Well, if that was the young lady who wanted to speak to us, I think she might be brown bread.
Yes. Does that answer the question as to why she wanted to speak to us?
Well, moreover, it didn't answer the question why she tried to fly.
Question is, was it voluntarily or?
Just, I've got an itch at the back of my neck, and this is just too much of a coincidence that we don't even know the bird, but she sent us an email. I mean, it went to my private email that is only meant for,
Yeah. Yeah, this isn't the email I give out.
And that photo of us.
Yeah, how the hell did you get hold of that?
That stuff's supposed
Even
to be
I haven't seen that
classified.
one.
But then in the same breath, she's quite open to showing us showing us her. I don't know, mate. There's something hinky going on here.
Is this called freezing for everyone or just me?
No, it's fine for me.
Can you see that message that I posted into the game chat?
Indeed, yeah. I don't want to click it, but I'm going to try and copy it.
Yeah, anything that I post in the game chat is legitimate and safe to
no,
click on.
It's not that. It'll open up on the streaming. And I've got a separate window for Google.
Something's going on here. Discord keeps lagging.
Yeah, I noticed that. Just lagged for me as well, Kath.
I'm not seeing anything in the chat either. In
game chat, in Foundry chat.
I was looking at the wrong place, that's why. Okay.
Brilliant, yeah, got that open
there's
now.
another way to get to.
Oh, you okay? How's the storm at your end, Kath?
Pardon? Storm. I'm not hearing anything.
No, I think it looks like Discord's playing up.
Yeah. Again.
Okay. The reason I gave you that is so that you got a little bit of a better understanding of what this car park looks like. So if you open that link, you can kind of shuffle along a little bit, so you can see sort of the front entrance of the Whites Road car park.
Yeah.
By the way, this car park no longer exists. changed. He got knocked down sometime in 2017. In fact, he got knocked down in November 2015 and was replaced by office building and other things by 2017, looking at the images. But in 2011, it does exist. And you can see the barrier. You can see the entrance to the car park, the public entrance. The car entrance, I think, is on the far side of this, the other side of this. I just thought I'd throw that out there to just give you some more idea of things you could potentially try.
I was
There
going
would be
out.
there would be a police officer at the door here, and you'll notice that a couple of people, the police officer turns a lot of people away, but a couple of people he waves through.
Oh, what do they look like?
Normal people, normal civilians, just everyday folk walking on the street.
And he just lets them through.
Yes,
Weird.
after a quick chat.
Might be worth just having a walk up to the entrance and see where they're going.
Yeah, every time I try to move around the map, it changes to a modern building.
Yeah, it does. Unfortunately, it does. Yeah. You've kind of got to move the map, and then you've got to look at the timeline to see if there's an old version of the image, and then click on the old version of the image. Yeah.
I was thinking, see if there's a way to get up on top to see if they've left anything behind or any trail that they've dropped something.
Even side.
Evening, sir. I'm afraid car park's closed at the moment, unless you have legitimate reason to be in there, sir.
Well, we've got a car in there, mate. Sorry.
You got a car in there?
Yeah.
Top floor or lower floor?
It's middle floor, to be fair.
Oh, that's okay, sir. Top floor is out of bounds, guarded by a couple of other officers. But yeah, if it's other floors, hang on a minute. Let me get one of the guys one of the officers to come and escort you to your vehicle. And he kind of goes to get his radio and he clicks it and PC 2736. Are you there? Aye, PC. Yeah, blah blah blah. Yeah, we've got a guy here whose car's up on the middle. He wants to leave. You ready to escort him? Yeah, no problem. Down in a minute. Yeah, if you just like to wait in there, sir. My colleague will come down and I'll escort you up.
What wife's supposed to be meeting is in there, so.
Right. Well, I've not seen any unaccompanied ladies for the last hour or so, sir. But yeah, you're welcome to wait.
No, thanks, sir. What's going on? We just came into a bit of shopping.
Yeah, I can't really tell you too much. Unfortunate incident. Looks like a lady has. How do I put this delicately, sir? A lady, unfortunately, has committed suicide this evening, and
no.
we need to do a forensic examination of the roof, whilst our team prepare and remove the body.
That's tragic. That really is tragic.
Indeed, sir, it is.
But I tell you what, I've not seen my wife come through this way yet, but maybe after hearing this news, I might go for a quick drink before we go get the car, if that's all right. She's driving, by the way. I'm not driving. She's driving.
He looks at you and smiles. Understood, sir. I can't say how long we'll be before we've finished up here. But just keep an eye out. Once we're clear, then you'll have full access to the building. You won't need to be escorted, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. If you see a redheaded lady come this way, by all means, give me a holler if I get back. Take care.
And you, sir.
And I'll just go back to Mark.
No worries. Anything
the
else
thing
you
is,
noticed?
They're escorting people.
Dean or didn't pick up.
No, yeah, they're escorting people to cars, so I didn't want to push my luck there.
Yeah, I had a quick look around, see if I could see another way up, but I can't.
No, it's all round the other side, mate. I wonder
The
if you can
number
get
plate.
into. We can't even get to the buildings next door. It's all flats by the looks of it.
Yeah. Does the number plate on the van look different to a normal one? Like it's personalised, or like diplomatic
No,
plates type things? They've got funny symbols on them.
nope. It looks like a standard. Yeah, it looks like a standard number plate.
Do you know what, Silver? If I had my binoculars, we'd be able to get somewhere right like that building over there. With the glass top. We could have a right old peek at it.
Yeah, or even the church across the road. Got a big tower on it.
Yeah, but you've got this building in the way, mate. It's never your strong suit. Need to look at line of sight and all that.
Yeah, I never had any problems seeing past them though. I always managed to find a chink that I could see something through.
Yeah.
Uh,
What is that building over there? Let me get Sorry, I'm just gonna go on to that map.
No, it's fine.
yeah. Okay.
I've got that many windows open with maps and things. Sorry. Right, let's get rid of you because you're on the stream.
It's a shame.
Right, Frying Pan Alley. That's the big white building there, then, isn't it? White Road, Frying Pan Alley.
Yeah, I'm looking at the park across the road. There's graffiti high up on the wall, so there's obviously a way to get up there because somebody's got to do the graffiti.
So which side? Look at Kath.
Literally across the road from the
Oh, from the actual car park.
car park, that building there. Look at the park to the left of it. Then there's a shorter wall that looks like it could get up onto the
Oh, I
roof
see.
of
Right
the
into
building
there.
opposite.
Yeah. It's
Somebody
the,
up there done a load of graffiti, so you can get up there and look. If you go into the park, there's like cables up the side of it, but I can't see any easy
no,
way
it's
to get up.
it's a broken wall. If you look, if you go from the first building with the white side, you'll see a broken wall there and another wall going across to the left underneath where the graffiti is, and then that goes to the back wall of the building.
So the entrance to the car park is just off White Row, which is the other side of where all the activity is.
Yeah. See, can you see that big building behind, with the one with the glass top?
Yeah.
I was trying to work out what that was. And if you get up there to look down.
Number one sports boarded up.
Oh, you mean above number one sports?
Yeah, if you go down the alleyway, directly down the alleyway, number one sports, go left down the alleyway, and there's a big building right at the very, very back that would look straight onto the top of the roof.
Oh, that one right up there, right over
Yeah.
there.
Looks like a station, maybe. How does it come off Street View?
Click the arrow. I'm trying to figure out which side of the road it's on. Just there, isn't it? So I think what you're looking at is most likely Crispin Street, maybe?
Yeah.
So yeah, the buildings down the back of Crispin Street would have some high-rise windows that would let you see down onto the floor. It is Lillian Knowles' house. So what is that then? It's a
There's a pub on that row called the Gun.
the Lillian Knowles' house is accommodation for postgraduates at the London School of Economics, and it's 5 minutes walk from Liverpool Street Station. So the building that you can see, yeah, you got Gun Street and Artillery Street, haven't you?
Yeah. Down Christmas Street, there's a pub that's really tall as well that leads on to those buildings.
What's the pub called?
The Gun.
The Gun. Oh, the Gun. Yeah.
On Gun Street.
Yep.
On Crispin Street. Corner of Crispin Street and Brush something or other. Brushfield Street. Right on the corner of those two. There's a pub
Yeah, I
that's
think the Gun, I think, is too far away for you to be able to see on top
yeah,
of.
but could we get onto the roof through the Gun?
That's a
And
good
we go into the
question.
pub and possibly go to the loo or something and try and get up.
Mm.
There's a restaurant.
Good.
Actually, is it a restaurant back then? Yep. Grandia restaurant, first floor.
What, and try and get up onto the roof of the building so you can kind of from the roof look down into the alley.
Yeah.
Move along the building and look down to see what's going down.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can certainly give it a go. I don't see why not.
What's that one? Is that, yeah, it's 2008. Brilliant. Because it looked like it was a restaurant in 10 Crispin Street, but that's 2012. Yeah.
The gun exists in 2008. That's absolutely spot on. It is a it's certainly a nicer pub. Ironically, uses the same brewery that Ten Bells uses. It's a nicer pub. Clearly, this must have been 2011. Must have been when the smoking ban kicked in, roughly speaking. Because look at all those smoking boxes outside the pub.
Wow, yeah, it will have been.
Yeah, it must be quite a famous place. So yeah, going into the atmosphere. with a number of people kind of obviously whispering and talking about what's going on just around the corner. The bathrooms would be upstairs on the first floor.
Right, so 2008, the building with the glass windows that look straight over the car park. Literally the street just behind the entrance to the car park at the back. Looks like... I don't know how to get into it. Well, there's some scaffolding going up the side of it, so that gets to the roof if need be, on Artillery Lane.
In 2008?
2008, yeah.
Well,
Yes, there is.
better.
2008.
Literally right at the back of the car park with the UPS van.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if we went up that scaffolding, we could have a right good view.
Yeah.
And it'd be all right because it's Boss scaffolding and they're pretty damn good.
Oh, there. Okay. All right. Well, it's still... So what you'll find is, as you come into Artillery Lane, the so looking from Artillery Lane at the back of the multi-story car park, the doors that you see that are closed will be pulled to with a police officer outside. The access way down the side again has another van parked there, and there are 2 police officers, and there's a bunch of people milling around. Generally, the people around are pretty much preoccupied with what is going on.
I don't know, mate. What do you fancy? Do you fancy going up and having a look?
Yeah. Anything to give us a clue as to what the hell's going on.
Okay, so can you both give me stealth rolls to try and get to a position where you can get up the scaffolding or onto the scaffolding without being seen, please?
There it is.
Remember, you can reverse or re-roll.
Reverse it won't help me.
You can re-roll though. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So lower your luck by 1 and then re-roll. Look at that.
Seriously? Even the 2 numbers are...
See, if you'd reversed it, you'd got a critical.
What, 82?
Oh, sorry, it's 88, isn't it?
Yeah.
My apologies.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't do anything else.
Can't do anything else.
Can't spend more than 1 point, can you?
No.
Well, I'm gonna shift myself up a little bit.
Yeah, you can get yourself. You can get yourself up and up underneath the hoarding, but you disappear up the hoarding, and Mark is about to climb up behind you. You hear this. Oi, Mister! You shouldn't be climbing up there. Get down.
I'll get down.
What are you playing at? It's just a random police officer.
Right.
What are you playing at?
Well, it's to get a better view.
Ah, rubberneckers. Well, look, you stay down here. I don't want to see you climbing up there again. It's dangerous, mate.
Okay. Can you tell me what's going on, though?
Don't know much myself. I've just been summoned over here to help out my colleagues, keep the crowds back, etc. I heard that somebody sadly fell off the top of the car park.
Oh, fell or pushed? You know anything?
That's what the forensics are looking into. Everything points to being that she fell. You know what I'm saying, don't you, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you should be able to fall off there. I'll say it's
Well,
acceptable.
no, not by accident, sir.
Nah.
You're right. But there's delicate ears around, and I don't want to jump to conclusions, sir.
Yeah, fair enough.
But everything doesn't look pretty.
Nah, I bet.
Can I get a climb roll from you, please?
Oh, is it an actual?
Climb skill?
Is it a skill?
Athletics, maybe?
Athletics.
Cover a range of physical activities, including climbing, jumping, throwing, and running.
Oh, do you know what? I can't reverse it, so I'm going to spend a point of luck. Come on, don't let me down. As I'm climbing it, and just a little slip, and then I'm going to just try and reach a bit more. Oh, crap. And I'm just...
Can you reverse it? Would that help?
No, I've used a luck point.
Okay.
Ah.
Okay. As you scramble up near the top, your foot kicked a bolt, like a bracket that holds the scaffolding together, that's just been left on one of the scaffolding planks, and it goes bang, 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 bang as it clatters down. The police officer, just as you and the police officer are starting to walk away, hears this and he kind of turns. Is there another one of you around?
No, there's only one of me.
You got no friend who's snuck up there already under me nose?
No?
You sure?
Yeah. Want to go up and chat?
Kind of. He's probably late 30s, early 40s. Then he kind of looks up there and looks at you, and
Maybe it wasn't as safe as I thought it was. You might have
exactly.
actually saved me falling off.
Give me a deceit roll, please.
One of the few skills I haven't actually got in there.
Yeah, give me a deceit roll. Let's see how well you do.
Yeah. Not happening.
Not happening. Okay. You don't do lying very well, do you?
No. But
No, I'm not going to climb up there. But you better be telling me the truth, sir. Don't take kindly to being lied to and all and stuff.
I'll come with you if you want.
Yeah, come on, let's go.
I'll walk with him and start listening. Anything that's coming over the radio type thing, I'll pay attention to.
Yeah. So Sam, you get to the top of the building. It's a bit of a hop from there to climb up onto the roof of the other building. Although you could kind of stand. Yeah, you'd need to climb up on the roof of on the building to kind of take a look at what's going on.
Yeah.
So you probably scramble up there a few minutes to kind of get yourself up.
I was going to say next time I go up, I'll be taking my time to go up just to make that a little bit easier.
Yeah. So getting yourself up and then onto the top of the roof of the building gets you to the top there. Looking down, what you can see, first and foremost, you don't have a view of the side passageway where all the activity at ground level is taking place. But what you do have is a view of the top floor. And there's probably a half dozen, maybe 10 cars parked various spaces. Over to the left hand side of the car park, as you're kind of looking down on it, you can see that there are a couple of officers, again wearing the white forensic clothing, who are kind of on their hands and knees at a certain part, around 2 or 3 cars, Beyond that, there's nothing to see, really.
And I can't see down the alleyway because that's just slightly off, isn't it?
It's just slightly off, unfortunately, yeah.
I'll curse under my breath.
Okay.
Then carefully make my way back down again. I mean, these cars that are there, they all look fairly standard, I'm guessing. Nothing's jumping out.
No, mix of vehicles. It's probably getting... starting, I would say, to get dark now. It's kind of gone 10 o'clock. It's not long after 10 o'clock, but the kind of the darkness is starting to, that dusk is kind of coming down and starting to settle.
Yeah, in which case I will carefully go back down again because I don't want to be stuck up here in the dark.
Well, what you'll notice just as you start to make your way back is that another couple of officers bring up some fairly big lights that they kind of shine down, and you can see the side passageway kind of lights up from more. Just lights up.
Yeah.
Don't forget all the tools at your disposal. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to give you too many clues.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I'm listening to the radio, the police officer's radio, as I'm walking with him. Is there any information I can pick up from that?
Good. Give me a perception check.
Oh, stop clicking on the blooming name.
You'll get used to it.
Nice. Good. That's a good roll.
That's a good roll. It's a very good roll. Okay. There's a bit of chatter on the radio. It's definitely a woman. So far, they haven't found any identifying papers or documents on her. They can't find any phone. And so they're struggling to work out next of kin to be able to notify them of the lady's demise. She's definitely dead. For all intents and purposes, she leapt off the top of the car park based on the conversation that you're picking up. There are a couple of forensic officers up at the top floor who are searching the area, but so far it seems like they've not really found anything. There'll be a third officer kind of relaying information to the two forensic officers. They don't seem to have a great deal to go on. And you're getting this sense that probably in the next half an hour or so, they're going to basically turn the body over to the two coroners that have turned up to remove the body.
There are two vans that look like coroner vans.
No, there are two police vans, and then there's the one black private ambulance with the two guys stood waiting who do appear to have some military training and military air about them.
Yeah.
Not the sort of people who have picking up a body to take to the morgue.
The van itself just looks like
just
a normal
a
coroner van.
Black van, yeah.
No coroner written on the side, it's just a black van. Okay. Okay, I'll wait for Sam to rejoin. Or I'll keep an eye out for movements and try and distract the policeman by asking questions when coming down, just to keep him turned away.
I want to use some of my 300 points to pull a glider out of my backpack.
I'm going to say no to that one.
I've been listening out for screaming coming down the radio when she gets up and starts killing them all.
Just out of interest, while I'm up there at the top, there's no sort of like. I should have a look at the map to be fair, but there's no sort of wires, thick power wires or telephone wires going from building to building, is there?
No, there are there's none of that. There are definitely wires up here, and there's probably a mast or a dish or something along those lines. That wires that go down into the building, but there's nothing that goes from building to building.
How about cameras pointing that direction?
There are.
There will be. Yep.
But can't do anything from here to check the cameras.
So there are a couple of cameras at just above ground level on that corner building that you're on the top of at the moment.
Oh my god, how creepy is that? I've just changed location to the around the corner, and in 2022 there was a UPS van outside.
Mad, isn't it?
I know. Sorry.
But there is a street level camera that looks down Crispin Street past the past the thing. But again, as you go down, is there anything?
I'm just looking at the building, which is the Lillian Knowles house, number 50.
Yeah, if you got up onto the roof of that, where the last floor sticks out with the pyramid, the triangular roof shape, you'd have a clear view down the down the side passageway.
Yeah, I'm going for it. I'm getting down. I'm gonna.
But getting on the top of that building is going to prove very difficult because there are cameras all around it. So listen, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll pause it there for the evening. Make a note that you can both accrue 2 experience rolls. Kath, you get a third one because of your experience boost. I'll just make a note that you have those. At this point in time, you're not in a position to spend them, but when you have in-game downtime, I'll let you spend them at that point.
It is the standard roll, isn't it, where you roll a 1d100 plus your intelligence and have to get above your skill to get an improvement, and it's 1d4 plus 1?
Correct, yes.
Brilliant.
Yeah, standard roll. So that's the premise of the game.
Okay.
You need to figure out what to do.
What I was going to do when Sam joined was try phone that number that called me.
Okay.
But
yeah,
he's got to join me before I can do that.
All right.
I love the fact that the Google Maps thing is brilliant.
Yeah.
You'll have to watch some of the stream where the map's actually on it.
Nice. It is very different. And as you saw tonight, the rabbit hole that you go down when you start looking at Google Maps is crazy. That building gives me a great view. How do I get to that building? What is that building? All of that kind of stuff is really, really cool.
Yeah. It'd be a lot easier back then because you wouldn't have to go back in time to try and find out.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to click down that street. Hang on a minute. It's actually a building now. The whole street's gone.
Yeah. That whole car park, obviously, like you can see, doesn't exist anymore, and it is a big building.
Yeah.
But it does make you wonder why they knocked it down, because you surely get more revenue from cars parking there than you would have bloody...
Well, that's the thing. They knock down buildings to make car parks, not the other way around.
Fantastic. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Cool.
I will get used to clicking the right thing.
Well, if you look at your sheet, just go to the very name, base characteristic, you get your skill points, you get your fumble, and it says roll.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know, but you used clicking on the name from Warhammer.
yeah, totally agree.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely, and a lot of other, and I think D&D did it the same as well. It's just, yeah, it's a bit weird.
Yeah.
All right, so that's a taster. We should be on for next week. I'm coming back from my weekend away, but Monday night I should be home. I might be a bit tired, but we can certainly play. See if you get any further.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And remember, I didn't want to give you any clues, but you both have contact pools. That's all I'm going to say. You both have a contact. You both have a pool of points that could be used for creating a contact or an ID.
Yeah. I was thinking that these two guys military. How do we find out? That's why I was asking, is there anything on the van apart from coordinates to try and give us a clue as to who to contact?
Well, we've got the
Literally
registration
looks-
number, hopefully.
Literally looks, as far as you're concerned, to be a standard black private ambulance used by coroners to remove bodies.
Right.
Start taking photos with the camera phone. Poor quality ones, of course, but
That 1.3 megapixel.
yeah. Number plates should be clear enough. As long as they're not too far away. Like, I take photos now of things that remind me, and it's like, yeah, 15 megapixel, there you go. I can zoom in if I need to.
Exactly.
So also
You're both
worth-
still in Foundry.
Yeah, let me just kill the stream.
No.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It's fine. No, it's fine. Yeah, go for it.
Sure.
Yeah. Kill the stream. It's fine.
Yeah, the +1 mod and the